Good afternoon everybody, and welcome to my channel. This afternoon we're going to be doing some fine art post-production, and basically we're going to be using some images that I took back in Pin Mill a few months ago, some nice shipwrecks. We'll be using Lightroom and Photoshop to do the editing, where I tend to use my Lightroom for my cataloguing and then my first stage editing, and then obviously I'll use Photoshop to do some more advanced stuff where I'm going to be using layers and all that type of stuff. So I think without further ado, let's get cracked on, and let's get into Lightroom and let's create some magic. Okay, we're now in the library module of Lightroom, and basically these are all the images that I took on the day at Pin Mill, which is quite a lot. There's a few panoramas in there, but I probably took about 60 images. It was a good shooting day, that was. So you can see some of the shots that I've actually done. That's on the slideshow before there, which is quite nice there. But I got 4 or 5 really nice pictures that I was really happy with. There's another one that I was quite happy with there. It's quite nice. And again, you'll see that one on the slideshow. Come back to there. And this is the one that we're going to be doing today, I think. Here it is there. So this is the image that we're going to be doing today. And that's what we're going to be working on, basically. You can see at the top there, it says Pano DNG. But what we're going to do, we're going to start from scratch. And these are the 5 images there. So they're all taken as an upright. And there's the first picture, second picture, third, fourth, and fifth. So what we're going to do then, we then join them all together. So I'm going to click onto here. I don't do any work on them whatsoever. We do all the work after, basically. So that's just going to go to there, select the 5 images there. I'm going to go to the top and click on photo, come down to photo merge, go across to panorama and click on that. Instantly it gives you a preview there, so you can see the actual setup there. You've got three options to use. You can either use spherical, which will kind of condense it a bit, squashes it down, cylindrical, which is the one that we're going to use, and perspective kind of squashes it in the middle. So that's the one we're going to go with, cylindrical. And what I'll do, I can either use the boundary warp and push it on the side that way, or I can just click on fill edges and it'll just get rid of all the edges there, basically. So that's pretty much good to go. Let's click on to merge, and that's off. Okay, that's now just done that, and it's basically just finishing off there, and it's created this file called a Pano2, and it's got DNG written on it as well there, basically. So I'm going to double click on that now, and basically that is the file. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit there. So as you see on the top there, Pano2 DNG, that's what it'll put at the end of the file name, basically. So it's just loading that properly now. You've got to bear with it. That's going to go a little bit higher. So let's come back down again. I'm going to fit it to the page. Fit. There we go. So first things first is basically go to develop, and that's just going to click on D, and then D takes us into the develop module there. So first things first, let's work from the top there. So I'll have a quick look at the horizontals. So I'm going to click onto this here. So what I'm going to do is, my end product is always going to be for YouTube videos, and that's basically a 16:9 format, and it's 4K video. So basically we're looking at 3840 basically by 2160, and that's the perfect 4K file. But we're going to click onto original, come down to 16:9, and we're going to find that there. And obviously that's cropped inside of that panorama, which is not too bad. I don't mind that. We'll work on that from there. I'm going to click on this little spirit level. I'm going to click that onto there. I'm going to bring that over to there because the horizons are not straight. Okay, that's good. So we've now got the horizons correct. Okay, and then I'm going to have to move my little 16:9 format within the actual picture. So I think I'm going to bring it over to this side a little bit there. I'm going to bring it up from the bottom just a touch. And I think that's going to be my format there, about there. That's not too bad. And the rest of it will be just be housekeeping after. So that's pretty good to go. So let's return that now. So that's my horizontals done. I want to bring my highlights down because there's a lot of white in there and there's a lot of dark in there. And I want to bring my shadows up. So that's kind of even the picture off a bit there. That's looking good. I haven't touched exposure and contrast yet. I'm then going to use my whites. I'm going to click my option key down, press option, and move my whites up to a point where you can see them burning out. Let's bring them back. And I'm now looking at the histogram at the top, and I actually want to bring it down to about there. That's it. So I've even brought my whites down a bit further. So I kind of like a little bit of space at the end there. And then I'm going to look at the blacks, press the option key on the black, and again, that's black right on the middle now. So black's pretty much spot on where it should be. Okay, And let's put a little bit of contrast in there. Contrast flattens the curve, so it gives it a bit more. So give it a little bit of contrast there. There we go. That's lovely. And I don't think that's a million miles off there now. Exposure, I can bring that back in a bit. I'm going to put a little bit of clarity. I always like a bit of clarity in there. Just put about 10 clarity. And a little bit of texture, which will help sharpen it up a little bit more like that. I don't bother with the dehaze. I'm not bothered about vibrance. I've got enough in the picture as it is. And I'm just probably going to lift up my exposure just a touch. And I think that's about as much as I need to go. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Have a quick look at it. I've got lots of bright parts in the pictures, and I need to just sort that out in post as well. So let's come down, go through the boxes. So there's nothing to be done in tonal curve. I don't do that. Now, if I was going to enhance the color, I would use this tool here, click onto there, click on saturation, and you can see the blue. Watch the blue go really vibrant in the sky. Really good bit of kit this is. But today I'm not doing any of them because basically I want to put them back to where they were. There you go. Today I don't want much color really because I'm going to be making a black and white with a half color at the end of the day. So that's where I'm going. Let's move down the next box. Sharpening. Again, press the option key, turn my mask in, move it across, and you can see everything white will be the part that's sharpened. So basically I'm just going to pick up the edges there. That's lovely there. And then I take my sharpen up to about 90 or 100. There we go. So it's only going to sharpen on these little tiny edges there. Lens profiles. Now I tend not to bother with lens profiles, but I'll put them in. Right, so that's that done. I think we're ready to go there now. So let's come out of there now. Before I come out of Lightroom, there's just a few little things. I'm going to make it a bit smaller to my viewing point so I can see the things that are catching my eye at the moment. So basically I'm going to use, first of all, I'm going to do a couple of grads. So I'm going to do a linear grad. I'm going to bring it down just on this side here, just a little bit there, and just a little bit on the exposure there. So that's about as much as I need to go on that one. I want to bring a little bit up from the bottom, so do the same again, another linear grad. Going to bring that up from there, that's looking good, into there. And I'm not really too fussed about taking the subtract subject because really the subjects are not in that part of it at the moment. So it's going to come into there, nice and gentle there. So basically your eyes already being crushed into the center, and then all I'm seeing now is big white, and big white. So we're now going to use the radial, come into the radial gradient, and then I'm going to get this bit here, just going to come into this bit, click onto there, and I'm just going to get rid of, make this a little bit, there we go, that's it there. Now in this case I will remove the subject, so I'm going to basically click on minus subject, and you'll see it do its stuff in a second, and there it is, it's just taking that out. So basically losing it about 20 on the highlights, and just a hint of density there. If it's too much, it goes dirty. So you just want to bring it in just a smudge. There you go, that's lovely. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So again, radial gradient there. And we're going to come across on here. That's lovely, come into this area. Move it up a little bit there like that, that's good. And same thing again, take the highlights down to about 20, and then the exposure down just a touch, about there. So, and then the last one will be in the middle, create radial gradient again. And that's going to be around this area of the sky. Come on, there we go. It's working hard. Okay, and that's it there. And once again, I'm just going to bring the highlights down and a little bit too much there. That's it. And I think that will do. So that's just good to go now. We're now ready to come out of there. So I've just returned that. And then that should come back into the Lightroom Develop module. And now I'm going to export it now into Photoshop. So basically I'm going to click Command and E. And off it goes to Photoshop basically. So it's now waking up Photoshop down here at the moment. And Photoshop will wake up. And then it'll put it into that then. Now this file when it comes in is going to be huge. It's going to be like 400 megabytes. So the first thing I need to do is make the file a lot smaller obviously. So we're just waiting for that to come in. There you go, so we're in now there. And I wasn't far off, 333 megabytes. So it's a big old file basically. So I'm going to make life easy for the computer. And we're going to basically go to image size. And we're going to take that to 3840, which is going to be 4K, and make it a little bit bigger. That's it, up to 100%. That's good, excellent. So we're now ready to go on there. So that's stage one basically. We're now just coming into Photoshop to do some house cleaning basically. So what I would do is this tool here, which is a spot healing tool. I'm going to click onto that, and it's really good. So you just literally put that over there. It does the job instantly. So I'm going to zoom in around the picture quickly and then do a few little items just to get rid of them. Coming down to that's probably about the size I want to work with there. So again, just go over the boat like that, come down, and then there, and then that does that straight away. By pressing my space bar, you can see I get like a hand mark, so I can move around the picture when I'm zoomed in. So again, I can do this bit, okay, and this little bit here. Press the space bar, bring me over to here. So again, I'm just going to do this little bit of a boat here. Okay, and then I'm going to try a bit bigger now. So we're going to go a little bit bigger here, and let's just try all of this tree. I don't want the tree, I don't want this. Get this out, see if it does a job on there. I'm happy with that, very good. And let's get rid of this bit as well. Come back to here, very good. So it's doing a really good job so far. Let's try this little bit to here. Wow, we're doing very well at the moment. Okay, so again, we're going to come across the image, have a look at some more things to do some house cleaning on. I don't like this shadow, so I'm going to take that out. It's not doing it for me, so I'm just taking it away. And there it's gone. That's nice. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this bit here on the left, which is this. If you can do it where there's a clean bit all the way around, it doesn't mind it. So it didn't do that one very well, and it's struggling now. So here we go. Let's come into this bit. We're trying, we're getting there bit by bit. It needs a nice clean area to go around. Maybe it's that one. No, it doesn't like that one. This one should be okay. Yeah, and the last one. And we're nearly there. Cool. Right, so let's come back out a little bit. Let's have a look at the bits that need to be done. So, okay, so that's looking not too bad at the moment. I'm quite happy with that. I've got an issue with this blue tarp on the boat. So I don't really like the blue tarp down here. So I'm going to try me healing tool on this and see if it does anything. So I'm going to bring it down. Let's just do this bit around here first and see if it will clean this and see if it will do a job on that. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. In fact, I'll have another go. So every time is a different style. So, but it's not bad. It's doing really, really well, and that's not too bad at all at the moment. So what I'll do is use my clone tool, which is on the left hand side here. And I can actually bring that down in size. And I can create my own art here by just doing that there. And I can click onto this one here, bring that down to there. And I can do the same thing again. Click onto there, bring it smaller. There we go, click onto there, that's good. Bring that down to there, that's good. And click onto there, bring that to there. And I'm going to bring this button over to here. And then bring the other button back. But you can get the gist of it there. That's not too bad. And tidy up around here. So this is not too bad. I have this down here. There you go. Bring that into there. And that into there. I'm not so sure about, I don't mind that green because that could be real. And then I think that's about us done there. So let's just go back to the healing brush again. And just the spot healing brush, just do a little bit there. That's good. Just don't like the blue tarp. That's it. And I think I can handle that. I'm not so sure about this bit here. Let's lose that bit there. That's good. And now when I come back out of there, it's not too bad at all. So that's pretty good. So while I've got the spot healing brush again, I'm going to have a go at this, moving the horizon again, just come across to here. Only do a little bit at a time. Oh yeah, I like that. That's good. And we'll try a little bit here as well. And take this to the end and see if that works. Wow, doing really well at the moment. That's good. And I think that is us done for the spot healing now. Looking around the picture, there's a little bit there to get rid of that. Okay. Come down to here. And there you go. I'm going fairly fast because I don't want these videos to be too long, you see. So you've got to bear with me. When I do it by myself, I take a lot more time and effort into it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to basically separate these ships quickly. So I'm going to go into Select, come down to subject and see how it goes. And hopefully that'll select all three of these boats basically. And it does. It's not done too bad at all there. So basically what I'm going to do is then click Command J, and then you'll see on my layers down here. So this is where my layers are. Turn the background layer off, and let's have a quick look and see how well a job it's done. It's done a really, really good job there. It's not too bad on there, and there's a couple of these that could probably do just a little bit more. So what I do as well, I'm going to come out. I'm going to select just this area on the background layer. So all I'm going to do is basically pick this bit here. Command J again. I say Apple, but I mean Command J. And then basically I'm then going to do another select subject. So what it's doing is working on a small box basically. And it's done that really well. So again, I'm going to press Command J. So if I turn the background layer off, you shall see the box that I just created first. There's the box. Let's put the box in the bin. So turn that off. There you go. That can go in the bin. Don't need that anymore. Okay. And then we can see the difference. Yes, there is a difference there, definitely. So if you look into this boat here, where the cables are just kind of fading away, you can see the difference by having, that's it out. That's the second selection. And it's brought the cables in a bit more. It's put a bit more detail into the cables there. So that's pretty cool. So what I do then is basically merge these two layers together. So the boats, I've got the second selection. Obviously the first selection is that one, and that's the second selection, but you can just join them together. Click onto there, and then click merge layers. Come down to merge layers, and there you go. So I've now got a nice layer. So I'm going to go in and do a bit of tidying up on this one quickly. So this is a fairly easy one. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm just going to go to the marquee, see if this gets rid of this bit. Apple X, it does. Click that onto there. Press my Option key. And it's now working perfectly. And that should now select, which it does, and Apple X, and there it goes. Click onto here again, so I'm going to use the same tool again. Press the Option key. Click onto there. Onto there. Onto there. And we're just going to get rid of that bit as well. Apple X, that's gone. Might as well get rid of that bit at the top because it's distracting. Option key. And that should do that. Get rid of that one. Okay, so let's come back out of there now. So I'm happy with that area there. That's cleaned up for what I need, I think. Yeah, that's pretty good, like that. Let's come over the other end, see if there's anything that's lurking around there I don't like the look of. No, that's all fine. Okay. And I think we're good to go there. So that's the boat all sorted. Come back out. Okay, so let's go back onto the normal picture. And what I need to do now, I'm going to get a hold of my clone tool. So basically we're going to paint out the horizon with the clone tool. So we're going to go a little bit higher there. Make my brush a little bit bigger. So again, click onto, I'll do this side here first to give you an idea what I'm up to. So I'm basically going to blend in this area here. Going to press on Option onto there, click it, let go, and then bring into there. And because it's on a layer in the background, you don't see it. Look at that, perfect. There you go. And again, I'm just going to click onto this area and put a little bit of cloud area. There we go. Click on there and then cloud into there. That's good for that side. Obviously, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm picking an area that looks the same as that. So again, I'm going to click into here, click the Option key. I'm going to come down to here, and I'm going to do exactly the same. There you go. Look at that. And I've made a hiccup by going down there, so I'll just do the same again. So click onto the Option key again. Make it smaller, just to get rid of these little items here. And they should just disappear. That's good. I'm going to go this way now, moving across. Press my hand, move the picture across, and again, same, lock it onto there, click onto there, let go, and then same thing again, we're just going to basically clean up around this area, just so it doesn't catch your eye, and that's that bit done. And I think I'm going to use this bit again, so I'm going to click onto the Option key here, but then I'm going to use this area here, so get rid of that little bit, and that works a treat. And then I'm going to come back out, oops, back up again, and then we're going to go on the other side. So I'll zoom into the other side, come on this side there. That's lovely. So we're nearly done. We've nearly done the horizon. So again, I'm just going to find an area here, click on the option, click onto that. And again, we should just be able to go straight in there and get rid of all that as well. Okay, and I think that is us done. We've now got rid of the horizon. Look at that, amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we've done that without even having to do a copy and paste on the sky and then do a blend on it either. So I'm quite impressed with that. Pretty good. That's all style basically. So there you go. Right, so I think that's pretty much good to go there. Quite happy with all of that there. That's working really, really well. And I think what we're going to do now, we're going to just basically bring this into camera raw now. So I'm going to press Command, Shift and A. And that brings you into camera raw in Photoshop. And there you go. So that's showing that file there with the marks on them, but basically we're going to bear in mind there's layers and the boats will be in top of these where these marks are. So what we're going to do first, I'm just going to bring in the sky from the top. So again, we're just going to look at the linear gradient, bring that down to there. I'm going to bring it down to here. That's lovely. It doesn't matter about doing the selection on that because I've got a layer above it. So I'm going to bring this down just gently. There we go. That's quite nice, quite like that. And then the same thing again, I'm going to bring it up from the bottom and again create new mask. Linear gradient again, come into here, bring this up to about there, and then bring that into there. I think that's it there. The only thing I think is this is a little bit bright on this side, so let's do a radial. So go create a new mask, radial layer. I'm just going to lose this little bit down here, just a touch. Again, highlights. It's always highlights and bring it down. Highlights basically hides a lot of these things there. And I think there's a bit in the middle there which is just a little bit light. So again, one more. Radial, put that into there. That's good. Stick it straight into there. And it doesn't matter about the, again, it doesn't really matter about the boats. Okay, let's bring that down, highlights again. And I think that's it there, go OK. Okay, so that's pretty good to go. What I want to do now, I'm going to click onto there, I'm going to press Command J. So I'm going to make a layer of that. And then what I need to do now, so before I do that, because I've actually rubbed some things off by mistake, if I turn them off you can see, I'm actually going to just cheat here quickly and I'm basically going to flatten this, flatten image. If I've made a mistake, there we go, select all, copy, and then I'm going to go to my history, come back in, go back up on my history tool and then show my layers coming back again. There they are. And I'm now going to press Apple V and then I should get that layer. So turn that off, and you can see now that I've solved that problem where I had this issue here with these layers doing the bit. No, seems to have worked anyway. Oh, that's why. Turn that off. You can see now there, but the one I copied and pasted is there. There it is. So I can turn that one there, put that in the bin. I don't need that anymore. So that's my layer there. In fact, what I'm going to do is going to create another layer there, just for savings. Okay, and then so what I'm going to do now is I want to make a black and white layer, and so I can get my halftone. So this is really, really nice. So for now, let's really just flatten this. Okay, flatten the hidden layers for now, and File, Save As. There we go. Color. Just save that to the desktop. There we go. And then save it as a JPEG. That's that one done. Save. Okay, that's done. And then I'm just going to go back into my history. I'm going to go up one click and it brings my layers back again. So what I want to do now, I want to create a black and white. So to do a black and white, I go into my adjustments panel. It's strong on the adjustments panel, and black and white is just as good as anything. I can go down here and click onto channel mixer and use gradient map and all that. But to be fair, the strong in Photoshop just does the job really nice for what I need at the end of the day there. And that's looking good there. So all I'm going to do there is I'll flatten that now quickly, but before I do anything else there, yes, I'm going to flatten that quickly. I'm going to merge those layers there that I did it with, so I'll merge them, and that stays as a black and white layer. I want to go into Camera Raw, and I pull the detail up in this boats here. So basically, let's have a look at that. So let's go into the shadow detail. There we go. So that's where I want to be with the boats there, a little bit more for a nice nice moody black and white. Exposure, just going to bring it back a little bit there like that. Let's do a quick bit on the linear gradients there, so I can bring them down to about there. That's good. Bring that down to there like that. That's looking better. A bit of clarity. That's better. And then obviously I'm still being caught out by this one here. A new radial gradient in the middle. This bit down here, and then select, subtract, subject. Same thing again. Let's get rid of the boats. Let's just move on to the highlights again. Bring that in a bit more. There we go. That's better. Bring the exposure down just a touch. Just there we go. That's good. So I'm happy with that as a nice black and white. That's looking good. So I'm going to go OK on that. I'm going to flatten that and save that as a black and white. File. Save as. A and W. Save that to the desktop. Okay. And again, I'm going to pop back into my history. Back into Camera Raw, and there it is again there. Turn the black and white off. There you go. And then bring my top layer in, and that brings the color on top of the black and white there, if you see it. There you go. So what I'm going to do there is, the color's too bright obviously, so I would want to bring my color down to like I get a half color. So again, I'm going to just click onto there, 100%, bring it down to about 30, 40. There's just enough in there now. That's just as much as what I need there. That's lovely. Now before I close this one down and flatten it, you'll see there that they're still on black and white on the bottom in the shadows. So really, because these are in color, I would imagine I want the shadows to be in color. So all I'm going to do is just going to rub away my black and white layer underneath. I'm going to get a rubber, and then I'm going to just take that down to about 34% and see if that gets rid of the black and white layer and then reveals the color. Okay, so, and you can see it doing it now. There you go. Just a little bit of color in there, 30%. Same again here. You see the color coming back, just a hint. That's all it needs, just a hint there, so it matches the top, so the reflections are the same as the top part and the bottom part together. Bring that into there, and I think that will do nicely. Okay, come back out of there. Let me have a look at that now. Okay, so again, I'm titivating now. This is my last picture now. This is the one I want to finish with. So basically I want to darken this area here a little bit. So I'll come back into Command Shift A, and once again radial gradient, bring that into there. That's lovely there, and then we'll subtract the actual boat subject. There we go, that should disappear. Highlights again. You see the highlights coming in there now. That's it, just enough. I'm not talking a lot, it's just when it catches the eye. And I'm going to come out of there now. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go into it. I like that. That's pretty much good to go now for me. Yeah, that's it. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do old school. So I've got these little clouds here. I don't really like them. I don't like them. So what I may do, I'm going to get my clone tool. In fact, the spot healing brush is really nice for this. So if I can make it really, really big, it just changes the dynamics a little bit there. Stops your eye being drawn to these funny little shapes. There you go. That's smoothed all that off there nicely. And let's get my... I think that's as good to go. We're absolutely spot on there now. That's really nice. I'm going to flatten that. Okay, and then basically before I go any further, I'm going to go once more, Command, Shift and A. Just want to make those clouds a bit more grungy basically. So we're going to go into Effects. I'm going to click onto Dehaze, not Dehaze, into Clarity. And you can see them kicking in there now, they're a bit more of a punch. I can soften it down, or I can punch them right up like that. So I think I'm just going to leave them slightly soft, push up the clarity a little bit more. That's good. Go into light. So just pick up the shadows a little bit for the boats, which it does, but then it picks the sky up. So what I want to do is get a gradient again. Oh God, you just keep going on these things, don't you? Let's bring this down to here. A gentle gradient there, just to bring it in gently. And I think that'll do. There we go. That's nicer. Okay, I'm going to press Command and L. That gives me my levels. So again, I can see there, I can either take it in by this way a little bit, press my Option key to make sure there's nothing burning out that I'm worried about. That's cool. And I think that is absolutely spot on there. That's really nice there. I like that. Okay, File, Save As. And that's going to be an HC, half color. Desktop, JPEG. Okay, let's make that small. Let's find my other images from the desktop, which is going to be color and black and white. Open them. And that's it. So let's bring that over to here. So basically we've got a color, we've got a black and white, one color, one black and white, and one half color. So there you go, guys. So that's it there. So I've got three nice little variations of that. So that's a little bit of post-production there. And I think that's just done for today. If you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe. That would be much appreciated. And I'll probably do another one of these in about another 2 months' time. So we'll catch you then.